Okay, guys, I'm attempting to make a video that honestly, it's not easy to make at all. Honestly, it's hard, but I'm trying to challenge myself. At least that's what I call challenging myself. Um, this video is basically about what I experienced when I was 17, I believe. I believe I was 17. And I was sexually assaulted, raped basically. By an idiot. Well, let's say I knew this guy for like 4 months. Let's call this guy Daryl. And I met Daryl online at, I don't remember what website that was. Everybody used to be on it, so I don't know, no biggie. But I met him on there, and we decided to just meet at a library or whatever. And, I couldn't drive at this time yet. I didn't have my license or anything, so, I'm not going to say exactly who it is, but a family member took me to the library to meet this person. It might have been two family members. I don't know. Because I've never dated anybody prior to that, so it was a big deal, or so it was. Whatever. But they went to meet this guy, Daryl, and I don't know. They kind of was like, okay, we met you, alright. And I don't know where they went. They ended up leaving me there with him. So we can kind of get to know each other and whatnot. And it was in a public setting, so not horrible, which is pretty good. I'm trying to remember everything as it goes without missing anything. And you get to know each other like people do in relationships and, all that stuff. And over time, I don't know, I feel like Daryl kept pushing me to do things that I just didn't want to do or stuff that I just wasn't ready for. Now, let me make this clear. We both lived in the same town, so let me put that out there. It was not the different towns or he was way over somewhere. No, we lived in the same town. So it wasn't horrible. So, he over time he kept pushing me to do things I didn't want to do. I've never been in a relationship, so in my mind, I don't know what's right, I don't know what's wrong, except for what I personally like and what I personally don't like. That is all I know. So, to say that I was naive, I was. To say that I was stupid, yes, I was stupid. But sometimes I don't know, you gotta learn, I guess. Unless you're just smart. Or people who actually sit you down and tell you what's right and what's wrong in a relationship. I don't know. But yeah, he over time kept pushing me to do stuff that I didn't want to do. And then over time, it would get physical a little bit. Once again, same story, pushing me to do stuff I didn't want to do. Uh, and most people, I guess, they would, alarm bells would probably be going off at some point, right? But it just didn't because I was naive, unfortunately. And yeah. And months go by, not that many months, but a few months go by. Same thing over the whole relationship, basically. And I remember there was a time when he wanted us to chill at a lake or something. 'Cause we didn't live that far from a lake. If you know who I am or even where I live, you probably know what lake I'm talking about. Yeah, that lake. And I didn't exactly think that was a lake where you would just hang out. Basically, I would think it's a lake you just go for fishing because, like I said, I've been down there before as a kid. So, I mean, most people just uh fish. Basically, they take their boats and they fish, or maybe they fish off the banks or on the dock or something. But that's basically what it is. Um, mm, this is gonna be crazy, but I had like warnings before this time happened, and the warnings consisted of being told to leave this person. I'm I'm a very spiritual person. I'm what people would say have a prophetic gift or whatever. So anything that deals with that, I've experienced it for the most part. And yeah, I believe it was like God and the angels basically telling me to you need to leave this guy. He's dangerous, you know what I'm saying? But I pushed it away. I had a prophetic dream not long after that, and I don't know how long. It could have been a month, a few weeks. I don't know. Um, basically explaining exactly what was gonna happen, and God deals with symbolism and things like that. So when you have prophetic dreams, they're not gonna happen exactly as the dream shows. Like when you dream, you kind of have to understand symbolism and dreams and stuff. Once you get that down, you maybe be able to figure it out, but sometimes not. Sometimes the only way you can get it is through God. God is the greatest interpreter. So if you don't go through him, you're not going to figure out what anything means. And sometimes he may just not want to tell you what it means. So maybe it could be years later he'll tell you. But anyway, I had a dream about that. And once again, I woke up, I was scared, like heart beating, everything. Like everything that happened in that dream felt real. It felt real. And, excuse me. But yeah, it felt real. And, yeah, it freaked me out. I was like, what in the world is this? But I moved on from it, let it go. Weird dream, right? I know we all had dreams like that where we do the same things. Like, oh, this is such a weird dream, but I'm sure it doesn't mean anything. It's just a weird dream. Maybe something I watched on TV or read in a book or something that you saw. And, time goes by, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not gonna put too much detail in it. It's too much. But I remember that day, like when I look back at that day, it was just, I don't know, it just seems hazy in my mind. Not like I can't remember it, but like the feeling, the vibe of the whole day, like from the beginning, kind of had a weird, hazy, it just had a weird feel to it. And I don't know, it was weird. But anyway, I'm skipping past some stuff. It's not necessary. Uh, we're in a room back at home, watching TV. Cool, cool, whatever. I don't know what the heck we were watching. Could have been SpongeBob. I don't know. Um, and I remember him telling me, uh, I'm trying to recall. Not so much telling me, but like really really pushing to have sex and stuff. And at that moment, I didn't want to do it. It wasn't something that I wanted at that point in my life at all. Um, it just wasn't, and I don't know, it just wasn't. And I was just stupid because I fell for it. And I agreed to, and I shouldn't have. So it it goes on from there, and then we're all old enough to understand how things happen, so I'm not gonna go into detail or anything like that. Um, so it's happening, and honestly, I ain't feeling it. Um, so I get to a point, it's like it became. I'm just gonna say unbearable because I don't want to use certain terms because I don't want it to be TMI. And at this point, I'm telling dude to like just I'm telling him to stop basically. I'm telling him to get off, blah blah blah, and he's like, no, 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 or something like that, and it gets to a point where I am at this point. It's like I'm desperate, so it's like I'm ready to just push boy off. In other words, like I'm pushing him. He's like basically has me pinned down. I can't move because he was a lot bigger than me. About I'm short, so I'm like 5'3", so I'm a short person. Petite, I'm small. I was at that time 125. I'm a lot bigger now, but back then I was 125. I was tiny. He was like what 5'11". I don't know how many pounds, but he was pretty big compared to me, that is. And so he had a lot of strength. I couldn't push him off. And I tried, and at that point, I don't know if he realized that I was probably going to do something drastic. So he proceeds to do one of these. He covers my mouth so I can't scream. Now, I should have bit him or something like that, but it just didn't occur to me. And I was like, I don't know, 5 seconds from basically hitting him with like my arms, because that's the only thing I had that was free to, swing or what have you. So, I mean, it's still going on throughout all this. It felt like a million years while it was happening, and it could have been a lot shorter than that, but it felt like it was like the duration felt like a million years to me. And it was kind of like, at this point, it's like I can't really make noise. The only thing is I have my fist is to punch, and that probably isn't going to do enough. And I think if it would have lasted any longer, I don't know, I probably would have blanked out. And then before I was able to start hitting dude Daryl, somebody in the house comes in, and it just goes from there, and it's just chaos after that. Not gonna get into details or anything like that, but it's just chaos. Um, Dude runs out of the house, blah 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 blah. Um, I remember just sitting there after that. I don't know. Like, what did I just do? And I was just on the couch, whatever, futon, whatever you want to call it, just kind of rocking back and forth, like just rocking, shaking, rocking, in pain, just rocking. And then I guess some family members come back. I I don't know, my phone was taken from me. Um I'm in, I don't know. I'm numb at this point. I don't really know what to think. I don't know what happened. I'm just numb. Can't feel, can't nothing. Um I don't know how long my phone was taken, but I know when I got it back, my phone was like, Daryl was blowing up my phone, telling me what happened, blah, 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 blah. Being the idiot that I am, I text him back. I text this mofo back. And that goes on, I don't know how long after that incident. Cops were never called. Police reports was never made. No rape kit. Nothing. And after the incident, I was sat down, we talked about it like it was just sex. That was it. from my point of view of the story. We talked about it like it was just sex. Smile and wave. Joke about it afterwards. No protection was used because I had, for starters, had no access to any. Once again, I was an idiot. And time goes by. One of my siblings, after that, didn't speak to me for a whole week. When I went back to school, I was like in a daze the whole time. I went to school, I was in a daze. Nothing mattered, nothing meant anything. I didn't care about school, I didn't care about grades, I didn't care about anybody. I was just in a daze, just walking through the hall like I don't want to say like you're disassociating, but in a sense, yes. And over time, it gets worse. I started losing a lot of weight. Like I don't know, I don't know, to the point where my clothes are like falling off. And I remember having a family member just, I don't know, they looked at me that day and they asked me, was I okay? The only person that ever asked me. The only person that knew of something happening that was around in that situation. And I told him yes, but that was a lot because I wasn't okay. I was not okay. Not okay. I was probably, at that point, I was probably suffering from depression. If I had went to a psychologist, a psychiatrist at that time, I probably was going through depression, which is not the first time. That was probably the second time in my life. There was another time period I went through as well, but that's a different story time. Um, and all the while, I'm still texting Daryl. And I remember there was a night we went to a dance or whatever with some other family members from out of town, I think. And I told Daryl about it, and Daryl tried to come to that particular dance because he still wanted to see me. And after it was all done, dance was over, we left, and I asked him where it was. He said he came, but the security wouldn't let him in the building. Ironic. But they wouldn't let him in. And that was that. And over time, I began to think more and more about this situation. yeah, I began to think more and more about the situation, and I realized what happened wasn't right, and I realized that it was actually rape and it was wrong. So I text Daryl and I asked him why'd he do it. At this point, I'm angry because all the stages, I can't remember, grief. I don't know, there's different stages, but at this point, I was at the angry stage. And I asked him why, and I asked him, was he trying to, get me pregnant or whatever? And his response was yes. And I don't remember the rest of the conversation after that, but I do remember that pretty much was the end of the whole entire relationship. It was over. I don't remember if I just stopped talking to him. Most likely that's probably what happened. It was just over. I would see him in different places in the town when I was angry, and I would look at him, and that look basically when you're not happy with somebody every single time. So time goes on. You move forward as best as you can to live your life, graduate high school, and over time, I've apparently developed PTSD, and I started having nightmares about this guy coming to attack me again, and I also have triggers even now. So if I see something that reminds me of it or anything of that whole entire thing, even just the person himself, if anybody looks like that, I freak out. And I don't know. That's just my story on my sexual assault. I want to say that I am a survivor, no doubt. And like the Destiny Child song, I'm gonna keep on surviving. It's like I'm married. I've been married for 5 years now. I have two wonderful kids. One's 3, the other 6 months. And I'm gonna keep on rocking. I don't care who tries to take me down. I cannot be taken out. I cannot be taken out. And I'm gonna keep on stepping until God calls me home. And I'm gonna tell y'all now, like, if something has happened to you, whether it was recently or it's been years ago or when you were a kid, you need to talk to somebody. Don't keep that stuff bottled inside of you. Don't do that to yourself. You're worth so much. You are worth so much. I don't care if you're a guy. I don't care if you're a woman. You are worth so much. You are loved. Don't let anybody have that kind of power over you. Fight. Don't stop fighting. I don't care. This is your life and you need to live it the way you see fit. And if something like that happens to you, you please go to the police. Don't think about it, go to the police. Don't rely on somebody else to call the police for you because you just can't do that. Rely on yourself. Call the police. You do what you need to do for you. And that's all I'm going to say about this story time. This is not easy to do. I've been thinking about it for a long time on whether or not I should. But I feel like there's a weight kind of lifted off my shoulders because I did this. And whoever watched, I thank you for watching. And once again, if you know somebody that went through something, please be by them. Don't push them, but just, be by them as support. So, I'm going to end this video and just thank y'all for watching.